There we go. Ta-da! I think we have full everything off the hop. It's a Christmas miracle that never happens. And today I automated the camera process to make this a little easier, so it'll actually zoom in on us, and we don't have to do anything.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Even
So,
better.
hi everybody. I'm Ethan,
Hi, I'm Christine.
and we're here live to talk a little bit about what we're wearing, what we're working on, and the delightful knit along that Christine helped to bring into reality. That has actually become, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but this has become my favorite knit along of the year. Mostly because I like to knit fast, and having an excuse for it is a great thing, and dragging all of you along with me is the best. Hi, Bibi! I think Bibi is joining us from an international destination, and be sure to check out her and Steven's podcast, which I believe is called Not Another Knitting Podcast. We have a busy morning ahead with lots of stuff to talk about. I've got some kits next to me. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my new design. I'm going to get Christine to talk about her knitting, not just what she's knitting, but what she's wearing. And then we will go over, I think, our plans for the next little bit with our knitting in general and how we might get through this in 60 days. And I think, first and foremost, I'm glad that you advised the 60-day timeline. So
Yeah, can I just put it out there,
hit
people?
me.
I'm not a fast knitter. I've got faster with the amount of knitting that I've done, but I don't knit a jersey in a week or 2 weeks.
It took 8 days.
Okay, I just finished a huge cabled scarf that took a month. I used to be a monogamous knitter. Now I just
She moved
stray.
away from
Now
it
I moved
so
away.
hard, she
Now
can't
I'm
even
just
say
sharing
it.
everything. So
Oh my god.
though the scarf took a month, I was knitting something else. So,
Okay.
it's like, but, most people would probably do the scarf in a fortnight, but Christine took a month. But it's a gift.
Yeah, and it's lovely. And you
Yeah.
did that in the Durham Gilead, right?
That's right, which
Yeah.
was lovely to knit with. Great on 5mm needles for the win.
Yeah.
And it's about 170 centimetres long. Probably after 100 centimetres, I finally got the pattern down and realised where I was making a mistake, ripping back, picking up an I-cord edge. I'm an expert now, so
Oh my
yeah.
goodness, look at you go.
I know.
Now, you are wearing a top from a previous knit along. Do you want
Yes.
to tell people a little bit about
Okay,
it?
it's cool. Okay, I'm famously known in the knit group for not knitting in the round. I only knit flat, but
Here, here.
a qualification, I do necklines and round the edge of sleeves in the round, because that's only like 6 rows max, maybe 10 if I'm in a good mood. So this pattern is by Natasha Hornsby. It's called Daisy, D''AISI, I think it
Yeah.
is. And it looks really complicated, and it's knit in the flat. And so you do this panel piece first, which is knitted on the diagonal, so you're ending up with like a diamond pattern, and then you pick up from there. So this is nightmarish, I'm putting it out there, but once you get into the groove, it's great. And then it's got these welts, which are challenging, but travel tip for beginners, catches on your bra strap, won't fall off your shoulders.
There we go.
So, and then
The
you
mystery of the square neckline revealed.
Exactly. And then you pick up from there, and quite frankly, by the time you're picking up, you're so thankful to be doing stocking stitch that it's just bliss. And there's some clever workings around to knit up the sides. So it looks like it's in the round, but it's not. So I'm sold.
Yeah.
And it's a really interesting knit. It stretches you for your knitting. It's probably everything I seem to knit is for advanced beginner. I can't seem to progress to intermediate. So it really is an advanced beginner pattern, but
Okay.
it's fabulous.
I really love this one. It's definitely an example of someone taking a knit along theme and running with it. We were doing, I think, pressed flowers and something else, and maybe I don't remember. Neither Christine nor I ended up on the correct pattern. That's all I can say. Whoopsie poopsie. Yeah, so we are encouraging people. If you want to jump in, it is this knit along, Knit Fast Eyeworm is running from now. This is March 1st,
first, yeah.
the first day of autumn, right?
Rabbits.
Yeah, here we go. And so March 1st all the way to May 4th, and we are encouraging you to knit something that you've knit before, which is why I'm wearing what I'm wearing, because I've actually tried to knit this correctly to fit myself once before, and breaking news, the original version no longer fits. You may find this update surprising. It's not surprising if you've met me. And Christine, you are reknitting what you have cast on, correct?
Right. I'm knitting Kame by Ord Martin, and it's a Brooklyn tweed pattern. Now I don't know how well this is going to show up, but it is a short.
I'll pop up a link after.
It's a short-sleeved pullover, as they call it, and it has like a stand-up collar that's all knitted in the back. Now this would be the third one I'm knitting. Now the reason I'm re-knitting it, because I've done my cheat sheets, because it gets a little, again, advanced beginner pattern. You're decreasing up the side and then having to do this V neckline. And I've done cheat sheets for it so that I know what I'm doing. But every time I wear my past knit ones, somebody always comments. I would say 9 out of 10 times someone always goes, "Oh my God, I love what you're wearing," or "Where did you get that?" Or knitters will say, "Did you knit that?" And I go, "Yes." And so it's like a vanity project for me, really. That's why I'm knitting it, because I like the adulation. Don't we all?
Deserve it.
And it's sort of like, it doesn't just look like a normal jersey, that it looks architectural, and I think that's where my knitting goes. I like something that's a bit different in shape.
And it goes really well with your style, like your jewelry and stuff's really well offset by the architectural knits. And I think it makes a lot of sense, says the man who largely knits just swathes of stockinette. Everyone, that's all I do lately. I'm just like, whew. Stockinette and cabled cardigans, apparently. Those are the only two things on the menu.
But stockinette's great because you can go anywhere. It's like I cast on this morning at the bus stop, because I get the bus on quite a busy street in Christchurch, and I think I'm providing entertainment for the people driving past that get stuck in traffic. They'll look and they'll go, "Gosh, look at that woman, she's knitting."
I wonder, well, they'll probably think you're crocheting.
Probably. Yeah.
That is my favorite. Yes, well, I have decided to chip away at the raglan version of what I'm wearing. So I'm wearing the 12 pullover number 1. Just as a side note, Ravelry would not let me call it the 12 number 1 drop shoulder. They were like, "No, you can't put a term in the name any longer." And I was like, you know what? That's fair. I have other patterns that are named like that with a term in the name, and you cannot find them on Ravelry. Because it brings up all the search terms. It doesn't bring up the actual like direct pattern name if you do that. So I have to go back and rename some patterns. So that's going to be a fun journey. So this one is 12 number 1. It is a DK weight drop shoulder with short row shaping at each shoulder and fashion double decreases at the neckline. It does have the one that I'm wearing, and by Sunday it'll have the V-neck actually written out. I was off by 2 stitches on one size and I couldn't reconcile it. Despite working all day yesterday, and I just couldn't figure out where the 2 stitches went, so I will get there today. This one does feature the high crew neck. Just as a side note, this neckline, to adjust how open it is, you actually just knit fewer rows, and it opens more. That's the trick. So, and it's actually listed in the pattern under the neckline finishing. So if you only knit 6 rows, it's quite a bit more open than what it appears. This is 15 rows and a sewn bind off. So yeah. I did it in the Albertine and Berenice together.
It's gorgeous.
Left this one. Yeah, thank you.
It won't come up on screen, but
honestly,
it's lovely. It's got like a hint of, is it like grey?
Yeah.
Sort of, it's a lighter colour and with that sort of the peachy colour.
It's really complicated. It's like a grey, pink, and a soft kind of rich apricot sort of shade, blended together, and it's just, the feeling of it is wild. I cannot get over how soft it is, and these are both yarns from Durerum Natura, so Albertine in Au revoir and Berenice in Argile, which we have both in stock at the moment. We have a lot of Albertine that I'm staring at, and we have quite a few tempting shades of Berenice that go with it. So if you need help picking out some color combinations, if you want to make one of these in this yarn, let me know. It is, thank you. Yeah, it is worked flat on 4mm needles. That is correct, everybody.
For the win.
And I will tell you, it does not include a sleeve as such. And the current version that's up, I uploaded the one where I haven't written out the fashion double decrease instructions. So luckily, I don't think anyone's going to get to the neckline today. So when I update the pattern on Sunday, I will put out that version. I literally clicked the wrong PDF, which is quite embarrassing. But it is what it is. I'm thrilled with it. Like most of my drop shoulder patterns, just as a side note, it comes with a sleeve calculator built into it, not a sleeve instruction. It's a thing that I do because almost every human being has a different size bicep, and drop shoulders really fit best when we fit to the widest circumference that we have so that it drapes from there. And then once we fit to whichever part that is, which for me is my shoulders, they're a solid nearly 30 centimeters long, broader than my chest, then I fit to my sleeve. So I knit the back, then the front, and I count all the rows. It's all in the pattern of how you do it. Oh, spoiler alert, you have to count the rows.
Oh my God.
Because the pattern tells you to start not at measurements, but at row counts. You're welcome.
You're mean.
I know. You know what? But the good news is I left blanks of where you can fill in the information as you go. And it's really good practice to help you build up your skill of reading your knitting, right? Right.
Yeah, because we all need education.
Hey,
and it's a growth.
Yeah, it is. Hopefully a pleasant one, like a tree, not an unpleasant one. But yes, I really love the pattern. I really enjoyed knitting it. I did knit it. I knit it, walked it, and seamed it in 8 days total. So it's not a terrifically long knit, and I do have recommendations if you want to knit it in a yarn held single. And there are instructions, just as a side note, because the meterage calculations are for standard garment lengths as per the sizing charts. And there's instructions of how to buy more yarn if you normally add length. That's about that.
It looks amazing.
Thank
you. It looks
you.
really great. Yeah.
I'm really, really happy. It's draping the way that I wanted. I wanted this to fit quite oversized in the body, and luckily, there is a store opening happening down the street for a sportswear brand, and some of the shoppers have clearly been to the gym recently, and it's not the worst view. Anyway.
And they're following our theme, and they've got big
Yes.
signs up saying 1% fast today.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, I'm not in the demographic, so
I am. I'm literally their target demographic, and I'm not gonna lie, everyone. I can't wait to be done the podcast so I can go get coffee and poke my head in the store.
Yeah. But anyway, going back to your pattern, of course, I'm the queen or president of the Peach Fuzz Club, which is a drop shoulder.
It is indeed.
So I was excited to see this pattern because the Peach Fuzz has a boat neck, which Christine's done 3 of those because we're all looking at value on the pattern. You want to get cost per wear, you've got to get the cost per use of the pattern down. So, but it's a boat neck, and I have modified that in my 3rd one to get it a bit more closed up. But so I'm excited to wear this because it's a drop shoulder as well, and it's just so comfortable and easy to wear.
Yeah, I have to say I'm a really big fan of the drop shoulder. It's a great pattern, great shape for both men and women. You especially, I find, and how you like to build your drop shoulder is up to you. If you guys are at home and you are team knit seamless, please, you can apply a lot of the same stuff to seamless knits. Find ones that really suit you. The big thing I always try to recommend is making sure that we know what that bicep circumference of a blocked piece before we add the sleeve is going to be, whether we're knitting top down or bottom up. Always consider your first one, maybe adding just a little bit of extra depth if you can seam that little bit up if you're knitting it top down, just to give yourself some room to play so that you end up with a sleeve that's the right size on that first one, and then later on you can just use that same measurement.
And hey, I'm really good at adapting knit in the round patterns to knit flat. So all you fans of knit in the round can convert a knit flat to knit in the round.
That is true. You could, in theory, just cast this on in one piece and knit up to the underarm if you know exactly how far you wanted to go with that. I'm really glad I knit it this way. Personally, I've had some really big misses with fits on sleeves and stuff, and I actually like a drop shoulder that has about 2. I'm going to use imperial because that's how I think of garment sizing. I actually convert everything in my patterns. So about 6 centimeters of ease on a sleeve I find comfortable. I don't need a huge amount personally. I really like that size. I've seen that the trend overall is definitely for quite ginormous sleeves or very, very skinny sleeves. I think that this is a happy medium. I think perhaps maybe a further 4 centimeters of ease, like up to 10 centimeters, is still not going to look exaggerated and balloony. So have a play. The sleeve calculator, oh my goodness, lets you build your own ease in. So it's not mandated.
And so going from a skinny sleeve to one that has got a bit of ease as opposed to a balloon, you're creating that air pocket between the wool and your skin. So it's like a little electric blanket.
Yeah, it's
that's
really
just
lovely.
tucked in, so it's not sucking in, and you sort of think you get the warmth from the wool. But if you can create that little bit of air space pocket, it's just makes it perfect to wear.
And it makes it, I find as well that ease makes it more temperature regulating. Like you don't, even if it's a warmer garment on a cooler day, or on a warmer day, I would not consider today warm, to be clear. I cannot.
But we are going to 27 people.
Yeah, I cannot believe that Christine's arms are already bare.
I've got the sunscreen on because I was exposing more flesh than normal, so I'm there. I'm looking forward to it.
No, I brought a t-shirt just in case to put under this in case I get chillier. That was my main concern.
Well, my main concern was that I was going to be too hot in this.
Oh.
I know. And I was going to
Unheard
pack one
of.
of my other summer tops that I've knitted in some of the cotton linen,
Oh, yes.
cotton wool blends, and the one
linen wool
and the
blend,
merlin
yeah.
that's got linen in it, which is just lovely to wear.
Sorry, distracted again by the passersby. We'll get through this today. I might not get much work done. Worse things have happened. Oh, yes! Val is doing a peach fuzz inspired by you. She's
excellent.
on her way with it. So,
In the round, or did you modify like me and do it flat? I bet it's in the round.
frisky. Frisky, everyone. So I'm actually knitting something that I've knit before. So I'm following the rules of the knit along because I'm knitting the second sample for the toile number 2, which is this raglan version. They're not the same pattern at all. This one fits with significantly less ease because raglans and huge amounts of ease aren't friends on Ethan's body. And so this is the toile number 2. It's going to be coming at you guys in, is it March right now? Yes, April.
Wow.
Ooh, yeah, I know. So,
But that's a different look.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to really look at the 3 main garment styles. So the drop shoulder, the raglan, and the set-in sleeve. And I really wanted to consider what that would be like knit in 2 different fabrics, repeating the same fabric combinations over and over again. So each version is going to be knit in a silk mohair blend with a fingering weight. So that's this version and the one that I'm wearing of these 2. And they create a really similar sort of luxurious draped fabric aesthetic. I do have to give a big shout out to Bibi and Lisa. Lisa more specifically, if she's ever watching. They really led the way on the mohair front, I think, in our little knitting community and got more of us talking about it and willing to use it. And for me, the big jump definitely happened with the silk mohair from Issayer, I will say, because that's the first time that I've been, except for with discontinued silk mohairs that no longer exist, it's the first time I've been happy with a production silk mohair. And both the Berenice and the Tilia have their place in your silk mohair use as well. And so this is Tilia and Arwetta together to make this raglan, and it's a little bit more fitted. It has a little bit more of a classic sort of ski vibe was kind of the feeling I was going for. You may notice that they all have a kind of 1970s minimalist aesthetic. I am very inspired by Halston and Jill Sanders, who are the people with bright, beautiful, bold fabrics in really simple shapes from that era. It turns out that's definitely my design sweet spot. And also some of the work from really minimalist French designers in the 40s and 50s. Like there's a lot of really beautiful early Dior work that's very simple. And before he discovered the embellishment and the ruching, Valentino did have some jumpers that were quite stunning.
Yes, I look at a raglan and think it's more formal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it has a very mixed sort of feeling to it. I think a drop shoulder has a casual
Yeah.
sort of reserve. The shape overall lends itself to, bigger sort of volumes and luxurious fabrics. Where I think that when you start getting into the raglan, you can dress it up or dress it down. It's something where if you wear it on its own with like a pair of linen slacks or something, it's great to go out for a lunch. But if you put a dress shirt underneath of it and maybe a wool trouser or a skirt, if that's your jam, then it has a bit more of a look to it. And then I do think that of the three, the set-in sleeve is the most formal, but also the hardest to fit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's I can admit completely, as somebody who designs and somebody who knits a lot of set-in sleeves successfully, it is definitely a challenge in any format of knitting it, whether you do it top down or bottom up. I don't think there's an easy way to get a set-in sleeve to work.
No.
But yes, so this is my raglan on the go. Now, you are using Loft and Hayloft, boom boom, which is what Christine's after, and I am trying not to knit with the same company's yarn twice in a row because I've done it like 3 times recently. So I'm really glad that you chose the Loft in the end. It was also a choice of convenience because timing, shipping's a jillion different things.
To all my knit night friends, stun, shock, amazement, I did a swatch.
We don't believe it.
Dried it, didn't even have to smush it up much to get gauge.
It's suspicious. It might be someone else's. She found it on the street. Which one of you knit this and gave it to her now?
And it's fabulous. It'll look a yellowy mustard colour, but it's got flecks of a brighter yellow and an orange in it, and I'm excited to see what it's all going to look like.
Hayloft is
in
an
full
absolute
garment.
stunner.
Yeah.
It's definitely a classic Brooklyn tweed color, part of the main stable for sure.
Yeah.
I allowed mostly Mary and Christine to pick the yarn that I'm using with some input. They picked the color mostly, and then I picked the base based on what we literally had around. And so I'm, you may notice, knitting with purple, an unheard of turn of events.
Well, it's not really purple, it's more aubergine.
Aubergine, yeah. So I'm knitting with aubergine. We'll go with that. I'm using Acadia in marooned, which is a DK weight merino silk and alpaca yarn from the Fiber Company. I really, really love it. It's going to zoom in on Christine's face and the yarn at the same time. Isn't that a fun plot twist? Yeah, I actually quite like the camera that does its own work for me. And I am really thrilled. I'd already swatched because I made the Acadia swatch for the shawl. So I knew my gauge already. So I just got to rip in and cast on. And I'm almost through the ribbing now, which is great. Now, if jumping in with a whole garment or something feels a little aggressive, although it is 60 days.
60 days,
you
got 2 months.
We think you will get it done. I am also encouraging people to play along with some garter stitch knitting and have a little bit of garter goodness in your life. One of them has some lace in it, but it's pretty relaxing. It's bias knit. I think it'll be a good time. And I've put together some kits that come in these cute little cotton drawstring bags.
Cool.
And they have a 10% discount on the yarn that comes inside of them because I picked the colors for you. And I went a little garter stitch. When you make garter stitch stripes, it actually makes things less intense than you're expecting. So I've decided just to make up some sets and give you guys the opportunity. There's 3 shawls recommended that use 3 full skeins nearly of fingering weight yarn. These ones are from Dark Omen. It's nice and bright.
Yeah.
I think I called it like Neon Loyalty or something.
But the skein in the middle tones things down. It's got flecks of the colours in it.
Exactly.
So it's not. It won't frighten the horses. Okay.
Oh, sorry. I love the color. Sorry. Oh, thank you. Sorry. People in love with this. We are winning the color game. Christine and I did have a consultation. Luckily, I am aware of Christine's knitting wardrobe, and I can tell you one thing about me. If you've met me, I may not remember you, but I will remember your project. So do always remind me of what you've knit recently. That's the best bet. So we do have a bunch of other kits because I just had a bit of a moment with it, and I thought that like sometimes a little bit of psychosis is a good idea. So I think I called this one Bloody Forest or something. We'll find out. I was on a tangent, everyone. This one was especially aggressive, I thought.
No,
Um,
that's quite tonal for you.
Yeah, I thought it'd be a nice
Yeah.
little
That's
journey
lovely.
through some grays and blues.
Because you're not going to pick up, because I know, because I've been on the other side of the camera as well.
Oh,
But
good.
the speckles and the colours, you need to see it in real life.
Yeah, they
Um,
really do come together.
They
quite
do.
well.
They look
Yeah.
fabulous.
Francesco's a really brilliant dyer, and then I also jumped in on some block collection. So there is a
Oh,
more
wow.
subtle one. This particular one with the purples and the pinks together, and I think this would be a really. There's no wrong way to use this
No.
one, that's for sure. And then I did go quite warm with one of them. It's definitely very autumnal,
Yeah.
very seasonal. I called it comfort. You're welcome, everyone. And also because I think that a lot of times people who are in the warm tone family who don't like pink get left out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, and speaking of pink, then there's this particular one which is
Wow.
actually more subtle in person than you might
Really?
think. No. It's quite aggressive, no matter how you slice it.
But yeah.
Yeah, but in a really harmonious and interesting. Oh God, the Red Bull truck has now gone past. What the? Pardon my language. What in the CrossFit is going on down there? I know exactly what's going on down there. Yeah.
That'll really pop, that one.
It will, and this
Yeah.
is from Walk Collection. This is the Cottage Merino. If you haven't used it before, it's a really classic single ply merino base, and the colors on it are just really, really beautiful. So
It's a gorgeous yellow.
it's definitely one of those things. Oh, I'm turning a colorwork sweater into a cardigan using Ulyss. Andrea, that sounds delicious.
Wow.
I cannot wait to see that. We can't wait to have you back at knit night. So those are some kits. They're up online. I think I called them the Garter Party kits because I'm a really big fan of garter stitch. I know it gets a bad rap, but especially in shawls. And I think we can all agree, if you've been traumatized by Stephen West's use of garter stitch, that there are other ways to use it that are not traumatic, like Antarctis.
Antarcticus, yeah.
Yeah, see, this is a perfect Christine.
Yeah.
Re-knitting is your perfect knit
I
along.
know, because
You
I've
could
knitted
be
that
on top of
Antarctica
it.
shawl, I don't know, half a dozen times minimum.
Oh my goodness.
As gifts, I think I was knitting so many for other people that I thought I really need one for myself. So I did knit one for myself, and then I
There
keep
you
seeing random skeins in my stash and thinking, I could do another Antarcticus.
Antarctis is a great pattern by Yanina Kallio.
Yeah.
It's one of the first things that I knit for my mom. She still has it. I knit it for her in a custom dyed gradient, inspired by
And
Star.
can I just share with everybody, it's got yarn overs, but the pattern is very forgiving.
Very forgiving.
Nobody's going to see your mistakes.
No one else is counting your knitting. Don't worry about
No.
it.
So, and if it's not, you just do another yarn over or knit two together.
Exactly. Now, the only other thing to tell you guys before they disappear, because they are almost gone already, we do have a small restock of some redesigned Project 9s and the Giganticer, not that much bigger, but the Project 10s as well. This one's mine, you can't have it. But there are some available online, and we do have a pre-order up because there's a new color.
Oh, wow.
There's actually two new colors. There is a dark green, but it's not coming for a while, but you should pre-order it because I think it's going to go fast. And there's a taupe. And I must admit...
Or taupe.
Or taupe. Taupe.
Taupe spelled with a W.
Okay.
Yeah,
Taupe. Yeah.
taupe.
Taupe. We'll get there. This week on Ethan Learns a New Kiwi Word. Taupe. Oh my goodness. I love that. So, yes, these are up. They are available. There are also some Project 36s. I wonder if I do. Oh my god. This is a Project 36. I'm terrible. I have to admit, this has become a fast favorite. I know, see, Christine has not succumbed to the bag lure yet.
No, not yet.
Yeah, we'll see. The 36, by the way, is the prize for the KnitFast Dye Worm Knit Along. So there are 3 categories. Please submit your photo by email before the 4th of May. Oh my god. Wow. Terms and conditions may not apply because the person running it may not remember. But the Project 36 is the prize. It's a little tool pouch, and I know that it seems silly, but it is ridiculously great because it folds open completely flat, just like all the other ones. And if you're like me and you obsessively need things to match, then it's a perfect opportunity to complete the set. That's all I
It
would
would
say.
fit snugly in the bottom of any bag.
It really does, actually. I've been
Or
considering.
other side to give a bit of, support.
I've been considering getting a second one as a small toiletries case for a carry-on.
Right.
And by a second, I mean a third, because I already have a black one as well. Oh, okay. I'll see myself out. Christine, thank you so much for coming
That's
and doing
quite
this.
right.
And
It's been fun.
yeah.
And I've nearly cast on.
oh my goodness. So I'm gonna go get us some caffeine, and we will hopefully see Christine back. I don't know how many times over this period, but definitely on the 4th to wrap this up.
Yeah. And
All
so remember, just go for it.
Yeah.
And knit fast is your idea of fast, not
Exactly.
Ethan's idea of fast. Okay?
Well, I mean, we should all start. No, I'm kidding. All right, we'll see you guys.